Yaffee program on WVNN.
Y'all remember Jamal Bowman, former congressman, when they were debating, I forget what the issue was now. Was it a government shutdown or something? Some kind of funding bill? And he decides to pull the fire alarm, which could be seen as illegal, but he decides to pull the fire alarm at the Capitol to try to prevent a vote. You all remember that? Jamal Bowman doing that? And then he tried to claim that he thought it was a way to exit or something, to open the door. And then you see the video and he just straight up walks up and pulls the fire alarm. You all remember that? I had no idea Jamal Bowman was in Montgomery, apparently yesterday. Yesterday, from what I'm seeing, at least the reporting, was a pretty wild day in Montgomery in the special session because not only were there like tornado warnings, they're voting on new district maps and stuff, and you hear tornado sirens going off. Not only were Democrats trying to filibuster and protest and everything, but the fire alarm went off during the special session yesterday, and they had to evacuate. And I'm like, whoa, Jamal Bowman, he must be in Montgomery trying to prevent them from drawing new maps. Is that what's happening here? Oh, we'll definitely have to talk about this and much more. You are listening to the Yaffee program. This is the show where you can count on the latest news, the important guests, and the best analysis, all for your morning commute here on News Talk 770 AM 92.5 FM WVNN. Coming up on the show, we'll get to the Alabama bullet points. At the bottom of the hour, we'll speak with Christopher Reed today. He is host of The Daily Controversy. You can check out his show 2 to 4 p.m. on WVNN. Later on, we'll talk more about the redistricting battle. We also have to talk about the latest in Iran. And if we have time, I do want to talk about this whole issue with Spirit Airlines and how we got here. I've actually flown Spirit before, but they're now dead. And they died quickly, apparently over the weekend. It stranded a lot of people. But it's brought up this whole issue of antitrust laws and what the Biden administration did and government bailouts of airlines and stuff like that. When should we bail out a company? So I want to discuss that later on. I always end the show with the Yaffee Rewind. We always take your text messages on the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, brought to you by RegenesisStemCell.com. And what's trending? Yeah, we'll do that later. Walker is producing. She'll do what's trending later. Walker, how are you today?
I had a little bit of of an off morning because
always honest about it though. You'll let me know.
So it's been good because I had chocolate milk, but while I was making it, I put the milk in the fridge and I turn around to grab the chocolate syrup and I don't see it anywhere. And I'm like, what did I do with this? How does one lose a bottle of chocolate syrup? And eventually I found it where I had gotten the cup from.
So, you're just wandering like a zombie because you're tired probably.
Yes.
And you take out a cup and then you put the chocolate syrup where the cup was.
After I made the drink somehow.
Okay. That is a little bit of a rough morning. Now, Walker, I understand you are going to be out with us Saturday night. We're showing the movie Talk Radio at the Independent Theater at Low Mill. We're giving away tickets. You're going to be there.
Yes, I will be.
So another reason for people to show up. Apparently, and I've been giving away tickets, but apparently the big draw for this event
is getting to hug you.
Yeah, getting a hug from me. One of my coworkers yesterday just walked up to me, showed me a ticket, and gave me a hug. Now that's not early. But seriously, if you want to go, if you want free tickets, if you want to go, in fact, if you don't want a hug, I will give you a ticket so I don't give you a hug. I want you to text in right now on the Yaffee text line. It's free. If you text in, actually, this is what I want you to do. Text in the word hug. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to tell me why. You don't have to tell me any context. You don't have to tell me anything else. Just text in HUG, making this very easy for you to get tickets. Text in HUG to 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN, and you get free tickets to the Movie Talk Radio. It's going to be Friday at Low Mill. It's for a good cause, by the way. We're raising money.
Saturday.
But it's for a good cause and everything else, and you can show up. And no, if people are asking if they can get hugs from other people on the staff, like Dale or other people. No, it's just me. I'm sorry. I have been the one forced into this. But if you text in the word HUG, HUG, anytime throughout the show, you get free tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you join us. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun for everyone but me, because I have to do a lot of awkward hugs. It's going to be fun for everyone but me, apparently. But if you want that, text in, and we'll send you tickets on the text line. Walker, what did you say there a second ago?
I think you said Friday, and I just wanted to make sure people knew it was Saturday.
Did I say Friday? Oh, my gosh. A Saturday, thank you, Walker. Saturday at 5 p.m., we're going to have a happy hour, the movie, a Q&A afterward, where even more people are going to ask for hugs. That's going to be the question. They're first going to ask me, how do you deal with Dale Jackson? And then I'll have to answer that question. I know that question's coming. And then they're going to ask me, can I get a hug? Can I get a hug too? So one person was saying I need to bring hand sanitizer, whatever. It's Lysol. What is that virus that is going around on the cruise ship? The Hanta virus or something? It might be spreading with all these hugs. I don't know. I'm a little worried about catching that. So if you were on that cruise, do not come to this event so I don't catch it. All right. Walker, by the way, do you have the audio ready?
I do.
All right. I think to start the show today, I'm actually going to talk about the latest in Iran because we've been updating all of this. So apparently the Iranian president has spoken for the first time about his meeting with the supreme leader. There's been a lot of talk on whether the Ayatollah is actually alive. Apparently he is, but very injured. There's also been a lot of talk on who's actually in charge. Is the supreme leader in charge? Is this president in charge? Is the IRGC in charge? The generals? Who's actually running things there? Oh, by the way, man, we have a lot of. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. But this is what the Iranian president said. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, I said that totally wrong, spoke publicly for the first time about a meeting with Iran's new supreme leader. Now, the new Khamenei, has made no public appearances since he was made supreme leader shortly after the death of his father. But the president said Thursday, I had the honor of meeting with the dear leader. We spoke with him for nearly 2.5 hours. First of all, I should tell you that his views and the way he interacted were truly sincere and humble. He said, for a leader to treat someone in such a manner, he truly had such a demeanor. Okay. So there you go. Whatever that's worth. We do have military leaders here saying we're locked and loaded if we have to do this again. But the other issue is President Trump is saying that we are even closer to a deal with Iran. And in fact, President Trump asked about this yesterday while he was in the White House. Go on and play the Trump cut one for me, Walker.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal. I thought we'd be down maybe 20%, and we're up. The stock market's higher now than when we started this war. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that, among other things. As far as the Pope is concerned, and it's very simple. Whether I make him happy or I don't make him happy, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
All right. And so according to Bloomberg here, by the way, on this potential deal, it says whether Iran accepts the latest U.S. peace proposal or not, Donald Trump is intent on winding down a conflict that's proving increasingly problematic for him. Now, his memorandum of understanding which Iranian leaders are expected to respond to any day now, calls for Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz in exchange for Washington ending a blockade of Iranian ports. The U.S. would also lift some sanctions, while Iran would agree to a moratorium on enriching uranium. Now, the sides would then negotiate a broader nuclear deal, finalizing how long that moratorium lasts and what happens to Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Now, it says here Trump can claim plenty of tactical successes in the war. And we've talked about the military successes, of course. The Iranian military has suffered huge losses, the Navy especially. But, of course, the Strait of Hormuz has been a problem. It really depends on the details. The devil is in the details, as they say, on what's going on here with this war. I've said for a while, we had Project Freedom a couple of days ago to try to reopen the strait. Now we're in Project Pause once again. But as I mentioned yesterday, Pakistan is involved in this, and it seems, I would bet China's involved. And that's why there are negotiations to try, because China wants this to wrap up as well. But I'm curious what you think about it. 866-494-9866. I still think we probably should have to bomb them again. Well, let's just get that over with. Send just a stronger message and then try to make a deal here. But what do I know? And we got people already texting in the word hug. If you want free tickets to the movie Talk Radio Saturday night at Low Mill Independent Theater, just text and hug. That's all you got. I have made this so easy for you. So don't screw it up. Text and hug. Because everyone apparently, Dale started this and it's become a thing now. Why anyone would want some kind of weird, awkward hug with me, I don't know. But there you go. Text and hug. You can win tickets to see Talk Radio with us. Me, Dale Jackson, Walker, Bugsy, Austin. We'll all be there Saturday night at Low Mill. Find out more about the event at WVNN.com. So text that in at 866-494-9866. 866-494-WVNN. By the way, the text line brought to you by RegenesisStemCell.com. You know, Regenesis, as I've been telling you for years now, they offer a comprehensive range of stem cell therapies for things like knee pain, arthritis, back pain, and maybe if you have a sports injury, maybe you were in a car accident and you have a pesky injury there, you just want relief for the pain, but of course you don't want to just take a bunch of pills. Invasive surgery can be risky. That's why stem cell therapy could be a good option for you. If you have hip pain, neck pain, they can help you out and much more. So give them a call, speak with Dr. Charles Lee, find out how your own body's adult stem cells can help relieve the pain. 256-715-8193, 256-715-8193. Go to RegenesisStemCell.com, RegenesisStemCell.com. When you do, let them know Yaffee sent you. So we have the Alabama bullet points and some breaking news in Alabama, which I'll get into in a moment on the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
The Yaffee program.
We're back on the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM 92.5 FM WVNN. Glad you've joined the show. Before we get to the bullet points, we have some breaking news. Just so you know, President Trump has just posted on Truth Social another endorsement of Barry Moore. So you know he's endorsed Barry Moore in the U.S. Senate race. But he just posted this today, within the last half hour. Said Barry Moore running for re-election to Congress in the great state of Alabama, one of my all-time favorites, is a fantastic guy and a totally reliable MAGA warrior. He has my complete and total endorsement. He will never let you down. Win, Barry, win. So that's breaking. So another post by Trump endorsing Barry Moore. We have some details on the race, by the way, coming up right now on the Alabama Bullet Points.
Alabama Bullet Points. Today's headlines from around the Yellowhammer State.
Sponsored by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Number 4 today, Pentagon's Golden Dome is expected to dominate Huntsville Defense Symposium. So the Pentagon's Golden Dome for America Missile Defense Initiative is expected to take center stage at the 2026 Space and Missile Defense Symposium in Huntsville, Alabama, at the Von Braun Center. Now, after largely disappearing from last year's official agenda, when a planned panel was pulled and discussions moved to restrict MDA Industry Summit, the program has gained more open visibility, as you would expect. Now, this year's event will feature senior leaders tied to the effort, including General Michael Guilletin, who is direct reporting program manager for Golden Dome, and other generals as well, lieutenant generals, who may highlight Huntsville's potential role as an operational hub, which is going to be pretty cool. So, I mean, we already knew this was going to affect the area, but more good news. Number 3 today, Turning Point USA joins call for a 7-0 map favoring Alabama Republicans. So Turning Point USA has joined calls for Alabama to adopt a 7-0 congressional district map that would maximize Republican representation and better reflect the state's strongly conservative electorate. Now, the push comes amid ongoing legal and political battles over redistricting. This is following the U.S. Supreme Court ruling that interpreted the Voting Rights Act. Proponents, including U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville, TPUSA, of course, and Congressman Barry Moore, they say a reliably red state deserves a map drawn by the legislature that produces all 7 Republican-held seats rather than the current 6-1 split. It's actually, no, it's a 5-2 split. But right now, the map that they're putting forward would be 6-1. But it looks like maybe Trump will get involved here. We'll have to see. And on the redistricting front, House Democrats sling racism accusations at GOP lawmakers as House passes bill in congressional map fight. So in a tense Alabama House session, Republicans passed a bill that would trigger a special election in 2026 using the state's 2023 congressional district map. That's if the U.S. Supreme Court lifts a federal injunction blocking it from doing so. Now, the special session followed the U.S. Supreme Court's Louisiana versus Callis ruling declaring race-based redistricting unconstitutional. Now, Democrats, though, have fiercely opposed the measure, accusing GOP lawmakers of racism and attempting to dilute the black voting power and Democratic representation in Congress. Now, currently, they hold 2 of 7 seats, including a flipped District 2 that happened under the court-drawn map. Now, House Pro Tem Chris Pringle, the bill's sponsor, faced hours of Democratic criticism and personal attacks, of course, while defending the state's right to appeal and use these new maps. And number 1 today, there is a new poll out when it comes to the U.S. Senate race in Alabama. Congressman Barry Moore leads the race right now, but many voters are still undecided. So a recent Signal poll that was commissioned by Alabama Daily News and great television shows, it shows that the Republican primary for Alabama's open U.S. Senate seat remains highly competitive and fluid. Now, this was done at the end of April among 500 likely GOP primary voters. The survey finds U.S. Representative Barry Moore leading with 23%, followed by Jared Hudson at 19%, and Attorney General Steve Marshall at 14%. But about 40% of voters are still undecided. But very interesting, now Marshall has gone down to 3rd place. That's not good, because a lot of politics is about momentum, and Jared Hudson seems to have some momentum right now. But of course, Barry Moore has that Trump endorsement, which helps him. This poll coming out is probably why Trump commented on it this morning, once again endorsing Barry Moore. By the way, go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Yeah, Mother's Day this weekend. Did you get your wife something nice? Your mom something nice? If not, go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn in Madison off Greenbrier Exit 3 by the Big Rusty Water Tower. And when you do, let them know Yaffee was the one who sent you. Christopher Reed joining the show next on the Yaffee program.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
You could pop up in WWE tomorrow. Would Saraya be there or would Paige be there?
Paige, 100%.
So when you're setting up Logan Paul to frog splash you through the announce table, it's going through your mind.
This should make every headline in the world.
It makes sense, right? And Jelly Roll.
We knew we had that kind of a moment.
Mindset, motivation, and what it takes to succeed. Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. We're back here on the Yaffee program. Don't forget, if you missed any of the show live, the podcast will be up on the website as usual at WVNN.com or anywhere you subscribe, anywhere that you can get podcasts. Joining me on the show right now is Christopher Reed. He is host of The Daily Controversy. Check out all of his stuff at thedailycontroversy.com. Follow him on social media as well. Chris, I'm calling it the redistricting, gerrymandering bonanza going on across the country because of the Supreme Court ruling. Alabama, Tennessee, both have special sessions going on right now. What is your thought on what you've seen so far?
It's half measures. I mean, I'm really tired of it because, there's been Alabama could easily redistrict 7-0, and they're thinking about doing this 6-1. The problem is, Yaffee, that if you do it 6-1, that map would likely violate the Supreme Court case on racial gerrymandering because the 2023 map, or the map that would revert back to that, is racially gerrymandered. So what could happen is if the Alabama legislature does a half measure, that could be struck down probably rightly by a federal district court, and then you're in chaos. Likely they revert back to 5-2. So Alabama has to do the right thing. I was actually looking at the people that have not called for 7-0, and it's quite a lot. Now, Barrymore, others have been calling for this to be 7-0. But again, if they go back to the 6-1, you have a real chance that gets overturned, and then we have absolute chaos. And look, there has to be smart people that know this, and there has to be people that saw what just happened in Indiana on Tuesday when the Indiana Republican Senate defied Trump and decided we're not going to redistrict, even though all the Democrat states did. Well, 5 out of the 8 people they challenged, along with 2 others who decided not to run again, they're no longer going to be in the Indiana State House. And I think that sends a message quite clearly that, look, if you defy Trump, if you do half measures, this is going to be the end of your political career. And I'm glad that Mo Brooks has called for a 7-0 map, and some other people have called for a 7-0 map. I don't think the current representative in Huntsville has called for a 7-0 map yet, although he is in favor of redistricting in general. So this has to be a priority, because what could happen, Yaffee, is if we don't do this and it's a really tight election, let's say it comes down to Democrats having a 1-vote majority in the House of Representatives, which means impeachments, which means we're going to have they're going to make sure that nothing is funded until we stop basically deporting. It'll be a nightmare scenario, and it'll be 100% the fault of these Alabama rhinos not willing to do stuff. And by the way, I'm going to tell you something. Anyone says, well, it takes 12 to 23 months. That's actually not true. Because, look, you never know what a court is technically going to do when you try something. But I'd just like the audience to remember, we have a 9-0 Alabama State Supreme Court, and it's very likely that the federal courts wouldn't get involved if we just did the 7-0. And, again, it's not 100%. I'm never going to say anything's 100%, but I would say it's extremely likely that we could do it. And by the way, Tennessee's doing it, and Tennessee's actually going a step further. They're having to repeal a current law and then pass a law and do all of this very quickly, and they're almost certainly going to have unanimous Republican representation, and we're a more red state than Tennessee. We have more Republicans than they do. And so the idea that we're going to try this half measure 6-1, that literally could mean that Trump is going to be impeached 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and we're going to have stalled progress, all because the Alabama legislature is not willing to do what is necessary to win. And if the shoe was on the other foot, if it was the Democrats, like we saw in Virginia, they wouldn't hesitate. I mean, technically, it's constitutionally illegal, in my opinion, for Virginia to do what they did. Their own state Supreme Court is looking at that because there are certain technical things they didn't follow. We don't even have those issues in Alabama. It would be so much easier for us. And again, people that have looked at this, that are experts in the law, like former Congressman Mo Brooks, who I completely trust when it comes to this stuff, he said there wouldn't be any issue with a 7-0 map. And this is being called for at the highest level. So I just think everyone in the audience needs to call their state House rep, their state Senate rep in Alabama and demand the 7-0 map. Tell them that the 6-1 map is not acceptable and that it could actually get struck down because the 6-1 map is racially gerrymandered.
So it's interesting because it's my understanding that the lawmakers who want a 6-1 map, they're doing so because they're worried about a 7-0 map being challenged in the courts because you lift the injunction, you put a 7-0, then that goes to court. It would be easier to go back. But your argument is that's actually not true, that a 7-0 map would actually hold up more in court because the 6-1 map was still based on racial gerrymandering because at the time, even though it was just one district they did, you still had to consider that section of the Voting Rights Act. So, I mean, what are you hearing from lawmakers who are saying we have to do a 6-1?
Well, I'm hearing kind of what we were hearing from the Indiana Senate people that decided they're just going to basically – they did nothing. I really think a lot of this, and I can't believe it, it's because some of these people don't want to get called out in the media for being, quote, racist and all that stuff, which has nothing to do with race. It has to do with political gerrymandering, which in 2019 the Supreme Court ruled is perfectly constitutional. These people don't want to have to read bad headlines about how they're these horrible people. But the thing is, even if they were to try to do a 6-1, they're still going to be called that. And so, yeah, the people telling you it's safer to do a 6-1, it's just not true. What you need to do is follow up and ask them, okay, the 6-1 map, was that racially gerrymandered under the Voting Rights Act, which was the section that was just struck down by the Supreme Court? And the answer is yes. So I really think it's not – these people are – and I can't tell you the hearts of people, right? I don't know if they believe that they're telling the truth or not, but they're wrong because I've read the Supreme Court decision, and I know for a fact that the 6-1 the map was under the old the old scheme, which is no longer legal. And so I think a lot of this is they don't want to look bad in the media. They don't want to be called out. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. And they're telling conservative media people, no, this is the safer option, but it's not. And anyone that read the Supreme Court case can see that the 6-1 map is absolutely unconstitutional. And so if they go that way versus just a partisan gerrymandered map, which is perfectly constitutional, it's just putting everything at risk. And I wonder if the issue is it'll be a lot of work and hassle. You have to do maybe you have to do a special district. But we have Senate SD 23 allows for us to have we could do the House primaries later. That was pre-filed before the Voting Rights Act. So we already have the structure in place to do this. And like I said, Tennessee didn't have all the things that we have, and they're going to do it. So again, whoever's telling that, it's really just an excuse, because I think a lot of it is they just don't want to be called out as being, quote, racist instead of just doing what is necessary to win.
Christopher Reed is host of The Daily Controversy. Check out his show, 2 to 4 p.m. on WVNN. I have kind of a random question for you, Chris, because I think you'll know some of the legality of this. It's sort of related, but are they able to introduce and pass other bills unrelated to redistricting during the special session? If you wanted to do that, how would that work? And there's a reason I'm asking that, but I was curious your thoughts.
Generally, I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that. I think if you do special sessions, you're supposed to kind of talk about the subject matter. I think there has been situations where there's been, things that are kind of related to that. But that's something that I'm not completely sure of. Although I think if you were to do something and it was in that gray area, again, people need to remember we have 9-0 Republicans in the state Supreme Court, so they're going to give the benefit of the doubt they're generally going to give the benefit of the doubt unless it's just obviously something we can't do. But that one I'm less sure of.
All right. So, I'll have to look it up. I'm kind of looking at Grok to see. The reason I'm asking that is because I've been saying since they're all there, they're all gathered. If they could pass a gas tax holiday because of high gas prices right now, I'd be for that. They passed a grocery tax holiday. Now, I'm for just getting rid of the grocery tax entirely. But I'm thinking with high gas prices right now, it'd be some nice relief to pass, at the very least, some kind of gas tax holiday. What do you think about that idea if they could do it?
Yeah, and this isn't going to be popular, but I really think with when the Iran war wraps up, which, it looks like some of the things are saying within a week or two, you're going to see gas prices go down in 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And then we actually don't have a very high gas tax. It's pretty low. And we do people need to remember, we use the gas tax money to actually fix like our roads and bridges and things like that. So again, ours is very low already. And I would say that, our infrastructure in Alabama, we could do better than what it is right now. So there's a trade-off, right? So if you do that, you've got less money to deal with construction, roads and bridges, things that everyone uses. So, and also if you're doing that and then, in 6 to 8 weeks, it's not even an issue because the gas is already below what it was, say, February 28th, then then what do? You just let it linger, and then you don't get that income that you may need to deal with something that the government actually should do. It's one of those few things the government is actually supposed to do in the Constitution, roads and bridges, things like that, commerce. So that one, I would be against it. I wouldn't fight it. I just don't know if that's going to be even a moot issue. And then, what happens if it just extends out and then we don't have the necessary money to do what we want to do on the infrastructure?
Okay. That's why I thought maybe it would be like a couple of months or something like that. Kind of like the grocery tax.
You could do now if you wanted to do a 3 months, like 90-day thing. That would definitely cover. It wouldn't be that big of a deal if we did it for a certain amount of time. It's just that the taxes that we pay on, I don't know what the exact is in Alabama. Again, it's very, very low.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I don't really think the people at the pump would see much noticeable relief. They're going to see relief when the oil prices go down. Now, that might be, again, politically, maybe that would be good to give people, 20, 30 cents or whatever it is. That would be great. But I think what the ultimate driver is just to make sure that things wrap up and we get this deal that's been pushed. And I think the Chinese are actually pushing the Iranians really hard on this because they need gas really, really bad, and they're not getting it.
Yeah. Christopher Reed, host of The Daily Controversy. Check out his show 2 to 4 p.m. right here on WVNN, or go to thedailycontroversy.com. Chris, really appreciate it. As always, we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Yaffee.
All right, and we'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. I am Alabama's voice of reason, Huntsville's conservative conscience. I'm surprised how many people are not as excited about my gas tax holiday with high gas prices. Since they're in their special session right now, we could do a holiday. I asked Dale earlier, and he's like, I'm not a fan of holidays. Either do it or don't. And I asked Reed in the last segment, he wasn't too excited about it. I just figure with high gas prices right now, because of the war, it's temporary that it's going to be this high. Once the war ends, gas prices will go back down. I just kind of figured to get some relief. Why not? Make it a holiday. Now, I was wondering, though, if you could do something like that in a special session. And apparently, yes, you can. But unrelated bills occasionally pass if they have broad bipartisan support. So they have to reach a 2/3 threshold, which would be, I don't know, it might not be that difficult. Democrats might support it as well. Now, in the current 2026 first special session called by Governor Kay Ivey, the proclamation is narrow. Bills on unrelated topics would need the 2/3 supermajority to even be considered. So that's apparently how it works when you're talking about doing something else in a special session. By the way, I had the breaking news earlier that President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social a new endorsement of Barry Moore, who he has endorsed in the past for the U.S. Senate. So Trump said this, Barry Moore running for re-election. This is one of the problems, though. The original post, and I think I didn't even notice earlier when I read it, but kind of embarrassing. They had to fix it. But it said this, Barry Moore running for re-election to Congress. That's not good. He's not running for re-election to Congress. He is running for Senate. So, it's good to have the Trump endorsement, but it would be nice if Trump, got that right. That he's not re-election. It's not for re-election to Congress. But apparently he did change it. So this is what it says now. Trump fixed the Truth Social post. He said, Barry Moore running for the United States Senate in the great state of Alabama. One of my all-time favorites. It's a fantastic guy and a totally reliable MAGA warrior. He has my complete and total endorsement. He will never let you down. So in the first one, he said running for re-election to Congress in the great state of Alabama. And he had to fix that to say running for the Senate. So, you understand. I guess you could understand that mistake, but this is not a great look for this. By the way, Barry Moore is ahead in the polls. I had that in the bullet points. He's at 23%. Jared Hudson has moved to second place at 19%. Now, I think that's because he's a pretty good campaigner. Seeing him on the campaign trail, he's good at it. He's good at it. It'd be interesting to see if he decides to run for one of the congressional seats if the new map is approved. By the way, if you want to join me and Dale Jackson and Walker and Bugsy and Austin, the whole crew at Low Mill Saturday night, we're showing the movie Talk Radio. It's going to start at 5 p.m. We're going to have a happy hour, BYOB, though, for that. But then the movie and then a Q&A after, and a hug from me, I guess. Dale has been giving away. I had no choice in this matter. But if you want free tickets, text in the word HUG. That's all you have to do. HUG. You don't even need to have any context. Just text HUG to the Yaffee text line. 866-494-9866. 866-494-WVNN. Join us Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Other than the hug part. I'm not a fan of that.
The Yaffee Program.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Why? Because I have a job to do.
With rapid-fire takes.
So I don't want to hear from you lava pigs on this notion today. No idea what you're talking about. You're complaining more than you like to breathe air. It's like you get up in the morning only to complain and cry and moan on social media about things that you don't even understand.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
You've been warned.
The Yaffee Program on WVNN.
News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Welcome back to the Yaffee Program. Going to talk a little bit more about the war in Iran. And yes, we are still giving away free tickets to see the movie Talk Radio with me, Dale Jackson, and the crew. We're going to be at the Independent Theater at Low Mill Saturday night. 5 p.m. All you have to do is text in the word hug. I don't even need any context. Just text in HUG hug, because Dale says he's giving away free hugs with me, and everyone wants that for some reason. It's going to be awkward. Might be even like a side hug or something. But there you go. If you want to win tickets to meet me in person, your voice of reason, and yes, Dale Jackson and the others, text in right now the word hug to 866-494-9866. 866-494-WVNN. It's the Yaffee text line brought to you by RegenesisStemCell.com. Text in and you can get free tickets to the event. Should be a lot of fun. By the way, someone texted this in. So I had mentioned in the last segment that President Donald Trump posted again on Truth Social another endorsement of Congressman Barry Moore for the U.S. Senate. But in his original post, he said Barry Moore was running for re-election to Congress. Then Trump did edit it and change it to running for the U.S. Senate. And someone texted in and said, doesn't Congress refer to the House and Senate combined? That's true. I guess technically you could say, well, Trump was just talking about the Senate, but because Senate's part of Congress. But he's not running for re-election to the Senate. He's running for election to the Senate, not re-election to the House because he's in the House. So, I mean, I guess technically the texter is right, and technically you could twist it in a way to say that Trump got it right, but you're really tying yourself into knots to do that. So there you go. You know, when it comes to the Iran war, we were in Project Freedom at the beginning of the week, which was a military operation to open up the strait. And Iran responded. Well, because of Pakistan, which they're being pushed by China, let's be honest here. But because of Pakistan coming in, asking the Trump administration to pause that, I've been saying right now, I guess we're in Project Pause. And that's P-A-U-S-E, not P-A-W-S or something. But Project Pause is basically where we are now, it seems like. Now, there are reports that Iran is more willing to make a deal, so this could end soon. The issue, though, what does that deal look like? Now, according to the Wall Street Journal editorial board, they're saying Tehran would love to keep the deal vague, then drag out the implementation, meaning we got to be careful here. So it says Iran would have to reopen the Strait of Hormuz gradually as the U.S. relaxes its blockade and then fully with the final deal. Most U.S. sanctions relief would be tied to Iran's performance of the deal, not merely its signing. On Wednesday, Mr. Trump wrote, if they don't agree, the bombing starts, but I felt that way before with them, so we'll see what happens. The president does have the cards to reject a poor counteroffer. But this is what the Wall Street Journal editorial board says a good deal would look like. One, dismantlement, meaning they have to completely dismantle all of their nuclear enrichment facilities, their ability to do it. Number two, they say uranium. Iran would, according to what they believe a good deal would be, and I want to get your take, and if you believe this would be a good deal, that they would have to give up their uranium. 3, inspections. So first on the uranium, it says Iran would love to focus solely on its 440 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium. The regime's 20% stockpile may sound less dangerous, but reaching that level is already 90% of the way. So it has to get rid of that. Then inspections is number 3. The IAEA needs access not merely to what Iran deems a nuclear site, but anything they want. 4, come clean. Iran can make a full declaration of its past nuclear work. Then the IAEA can verify the declaration, essentially an audit, and reestablish continuity of knowledge. Number 5, Hormuz. They have to open the Strait of Hormuz. Number 6, sanctions. Relief inevitably would help the regime, and any deal, regrettably, leaves out the Iranian people. But sanctions have to be linked to behavior, not just the signing. So I do think that would be a good first step on what a deal would look like. Now, it's interesting because on this debate, There was a debate that happened over the latest in Iran on CNN. Happened a couple days ago. Didn't get a chance to play the cuts yet. But you have a leftist named Adam Mockler who was debating conservative Noah Rothman, who writes for the National Review. And I thought it was an interesting little debate over the latest in Iran. So go ahead if you can, Walker. Play the Adam Mockler cut that I sent you.
Yeah, for my entire life, the United States has been at war with some country in the Middle East. And young people have constantly been told that this will make us safer and make us better off. When we look around at the world today, we are less safe and we are worse off. Millennials grew up watching all these headlines saying that Iraq had been, defeated, that we had taken out Saddam Hussein and we had killed all the bad guys. Well, that turned into a grinding counterinsurgency that cost us $1 trillion, and it was a catastrophe. The same thing happened with Afghanistan. And now Gen Zers are going through the same thing with Iran. We are watching the same people who defended these first two failed wars go on television and defend another failed war. This war is failing. We have not gotten any political concessions. And I'm sorry, I'm not buying this trust the process line. I don't trust the same people who got us into the prior wars, amassed trillions of dollars in debts, and are not putting America first on the global stage.
So I am not convinced that after our work in Iraq and Afghanistan that we're left safe. I just don't buy that. I'm sorry. I think there is a reason why we did not have another major terrorist 9/11 style attack after 9/11. And it's because of our presence over there. As much as we screwed up the wars over there, especially Afghanistan, I am not convinced that it was all for naught. I've never been convinced of that. Now, we talked about trillions of dollars in debt. The left loves to blame our national debt on the wars. It's absurd. I'm sorry. It's just what we spent on the military in the wars is so minuscule to what's really caused the problem of our current national debt. But they need something because they don't want to ever get rid of any type of welfare program, and they want no reforms to entitlements. So that's how you get that. So that's the left side of this. So Noah Rothman, who was on the panel as well, this was on CNN's Abby Phillips show. Scott Jennings is on it a lot. He's the voice of reason of CNN. Well, this time Noah Rothman was the voice of reason of CNN. So I wanted to play this cut. Play the Noah Rothman cut for me.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, honestly, Adam, that's immensely ungrateful to American service personnel and the people who keep us safe every day. After 9/11, it was by no means guaranteed that there would be no mass casualty terrorist attack on American soil in the immediate aftermath of that attack, especially since we had events in Madrid, in London, et cetera. And after the attack on Iraq and the elimination of Saddam Hussein's regime, we took a terrorist-supporting enterprise off the map. We don't talk about Iraq anymore as a threat to national security because it isn't. And those who would pretend as though Iran is not a national security threat and are just frankly dismissive of the extent to which American service personnel get up every day to stop these people from executing the attacks on American and their allies that they plan every single day. This is a thorn in our side. It absorbs a lot of American taxpayer dollars, to say nothing of the energy of our service personnel. And I just think it's just ungrateful to say that the service personnel are not keeping you safe when they are.
No.
That is exactly where I have been on this. And kind of what I was saying there is just this constant line by the left that the wars were for nothing, that we're worse off. I just don't buy that. With all the problems in Iraq, today we have military presence in Iraq that has been able to keep an eye on terrorism, including ISIS. And by the way, in Trump's first term, he doesn't get enough credit for this, but we crushed ISIS because of the leadership of President Trump in his first term. So I've just never bought the argument that, everything has been a complete failure and this is a continuation of it. I'm not saying it was a complete success. I believe we should have stayed in Afghanistan, by the way, at least just kind of a low number force, but I think that would have been good as well. But this idea that, we're just so less safe and the military's done nothing good and we shouldn't be anywhere. And there are many people on the right who make that argument. I just don't buy it. You can use that as an excuse to not do anything on the world stage, which I think is impossible as well. Really. But I also think if we end up not getting a great deal out of this war in Iran, we leave too soon, whatever, it will not be because of the capability of the U.S. military. It will be because of the political realities and the lack of leadership. I think the military could force the strait to be reopened, could achieve all of our objectives in Iran, but are we willing to take those steps, which, yes, can be risky? And it seems like we're not, and that's the problem. Don't get involved if you're not willing to go all the way, which is typically the problem with the U.S. and some of these military engagements. If you want to weigh in, you can. We have our Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866. Also, text the word hug. That's right, hug to HUG. And you can win free tickets. I mean, it's free. I'm going to give them to you. If you text, that's all you have to do. I've made this so easy. It's tickets to see Talk Radio, the movie Talk Radio. Going to be happening at Low Mill. We're going to be there Saturday night. I'll be there. Walker will be there. Austin, Bugsy as well. Text in a hug because Dale has been giving away VIP tickets where you also win a hug with me. And people actually want that. Why? I don't know. I'm going to have to take a long shower after the fact, I guess. But text in the word hug if you can. By the way, you're going to want to hug the people that work at Jay's Appliance Outlet after you go there and get a great deal because the prices are so good. The selection is great. The customer service, they're family owned and operated, so it's great customer service. Much better than you would get at some of those big box stores. Oh, and did I mention that the prices are so good? So if you're looking for a new refrigerator, whether it's one of those with the French doors or just a side-by-side, what you need to have it. If you're looking for a new washer or dryer, they have that. And they have scratch and dent deals as well where it works perfectly. It's brand new. It just has a little dent on the side. Who cares if there's a little dent on the side of your washer if you can get it for a great price? Well, you can at Jay's Appliance Outlet. So dial pound 250, say the keywords Jay's Appliance Outlet, or go to their showroom, even better, off Highway 72 East in Athens. Check it out there by the Pep Boys up there as you're going towards downtown on 72. Jay's Appliance Outlet. Go today. When you do, let them know Yaffee sent you. We'll be back in a moment on the Yaffee program.
It's the Yaffee program on WVNN.
We're back here on the Yaffee program. This is your vaccine from radical leftism. You don't want to catch it. It's contagious. So you listen to this show, it inoculates you. You're welcome. That's what I do for you. So we had the death of Spirit Airlines. Is very hard. I do love the memes that I've seen out there where it shows Spirit Airlines become Spirit Halloween Airlines. Because, Spirit Halloween takes everything that closed down. If Spirit Halloween does not at least get one plane and do that, they're missing a huge opportunity. I just have to say. But this is such a great example of how many of the technocrats that are in Washington, D.C. don't understand what they're talking about. That all these fixes they have for you and the economy are not fixes. They're going to make things worse. I also think it's an example, frankly, of the danger of unions. Not necessarily that the union was responsible here, although they did have to make deals with the unions to try to get this, to try to save Spirit. But it just shows that a lot of these people that make these claims that all these things businesses have to do, often they don't have the best interests of the business itself at heart. And they don't realize that there is no guarantee that a business will stay in business, no matter how big it is now. And so it's not good for all these employees that the business doesn't exist. And it's not good for consumers, even though they said, oh, we need Spirit there for consumers. I'll give you an example of this. Back in 2023, Spirit, as you know, many of you know anyway, they were trying to merge with JetBlue. JetBlue wanted to buy them. Here is Pete Buttigieg, who was the transportation secretary at the time, talking to Congress and making the claim that, no, we can't allow this merger to happen. Antitrust and all that. Go on and play the Pete Buttigieg cut.
Well, if we want competition, then we have to have fidelity to our watchdog role when it comes to mergers. After all, by definition, a merger means that there will be fewer competitors than there were before the merger. I could not concur with the description of this as a novel regulatory.
Yes. Can I just ask a quick question? You're saying that we have 4 major carriers that represent 80% of the traffic, and adding another one would stop competition?
By definition, a merger doesn't add a company, it removes it.
By definition, a merger also gives the other 4 a competition that they don't have presently of 80%.
So our role is to make sure that there is more competition, not less, and we will only act to prevent a merger if there is a determination that a merger would harm competition.
Okay, so let me ask, so in other words, we have 4 major airlines representing 80% of the traffic, and you're saying another competition would be what? Would not be competition? I'm trying to understand the math, because
think of it in terms of
add another carrier, national carrier. You're taking up more competition to the 4 that right now.
My point is, taking 2 airlines and turning them into 1 could mean less competition.
We're talking about the smaller. How can they compete with the policies you're now looking at? How will you allow them to compete in this market in which 4 right now control it?
Well, part of what we're doing to support them is steps like this that police the trend toward consolidation, so that we don't end up with, by the end of this, we could be down to Coke and Pepsi. If all of the airlines merge, you could wind up with just 2. It's hard to picture that being a positive outcome.
So what Burgess Owens, who was the congressman speaking there, was saying is that in order for JetBlue to compete with those big 4 carriers, they need to merge with Spirit. That actually has more competition, better for consumers. Pete Buttigieg says, no, Spirit needs to be separate to have more competition. Oh, we could only have 2 if we allow this merger to happen. So now Spirit's dead. Is that better? It's just, what I'm trying to get at here is technocrats like Pete Buttigieg. These people don't know what they're talking about. They just have this anti-business mindset, and anything big, anything that makes a business bigger or whatever could be bad, and the government must come in. Well, now it's out of business. So many examples of that. This is a great example. All right, What's Trending is coming up next here on the Yaffee program.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Listen, it is not too late to stop this. Do not do this. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's damn near perfect. It's beautiful as it is. Stop trying to fix what ain't broke. And stop telling me that the tournament isn't the tournament unless the 15th place team in the SEC gets in. Stop jerking with the best event in all of sports, you pigs.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Back here on the Yaffee program, still giving away free tickets. Going to be there Saturday night, Low Mill, the Independent Theater, showing the movie Talk Radio. Me, Dale Jackson, and the crew. Only giving away hugs for me, though. And Dale started this, and people actually want it for some reason. But it's not for anyone else on the staff, just me. Or if you don't want it, I'll still give you tickets. In fact, if you don't want it, I would prefer to give tickets to those who do not want to hug with me. I'm just saying. But if you do, if you want free tickets, let me know on the text line. Just text the word hug, H-U-G, hug, to the text line, the Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866, 866-494-WVNN. All right, Walker is here, so let's get right to it. We have What's Trending with Walker.
Keeping you up to date with all that's trending in your world.
Oh, they have the internet on computers now.
You guys know how to post videos to Facebook?
It's What's Trending.
Sponsored by Coleman Furniture Market, another place where you're going to want to give them a hug after they give you a great deal on some new furniture. If you're looking for maybe a Lazy Boy recliner, maybe you like the brand Hooker Row, Bradenton Young. If you need a new mattress, well, they have the Tempur-Pedic mattresses available and much more, all at Coleman Furniture Market. Now, they're located in the heart of Coleman, Alabama. So what you want to do is go to the showroom, see everything they got, and if you see it in the store and it hasn't already been sold, you can take it home. Or they can deliver to anywhere in the state. There is a reason why it's the best furniture store in the universe. There's a reason why most of the furniture in my home is from Coleman Furniture Market. So go today. They always have what's trending in furniture. When you do, let them know you heard about it from Yaffee. Walker, what's number 5 today?
Number 5 today, Krispy Kreme has a deal for, well, I say a deal, but has some new donuts for Mother's Day.
Well, I mean, like, what is it? A special donut? Like,
it's a couple special donuts. Today through Sunday, they will be selling mini Mother's Day Donuts box, which has mini strawberries and cream donuts, mini Heart of Gold donuts, chocolate ice donut with sprinkles, and mini original glazed.
It all sounds pretty good. I'm gonna say I want donuts now. I don't know why you do so many on food when you do what's trending, but I guess that's what we're just thinking about in the morning. But that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention I did get Firehouse yesterday. My name's Mike. I got the free sub.
Well, Dale didn't ruin it for you.
I know he didn't. It said nope. They didn't say no. Your name's Yaffee. No, I got it. It was good. It was good. Their new steak and cheese, actually really good. So, it wasn't as busy as I thought. So I was glad. But
I guess not enough people were listening. They didn't know.
I don't know. But all right, what is number 4 today?
Number 4 today, people have been talking about how several artists have been canceling tour dates, including Dolly Parton, Zayn Malik, Post Malone, the Pussycat Dolls, Meghan Trainor. A couple of them have blamed health issues. Some say that there's family obligations or finishing other work. And people are saying, oh, well, probably not enough people are interested because people can't afford to go.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Probably because the economy, I guess.
Yeah, that's what people are thinking, at least, even though they've been giving other reasons.
How much are the tickets? That's the question.
Yeah, I guess it really depends.
Well, that's a bummer, I guess. I mean, I can't go, but that's because I have kids, and they've taken over my life. So that's how that works. You'll find out one day. What's number 3?
Number 3, Del Monte has claimed bankruptcy, which has prompted a massive peach tree removal in California. Says
Wait. Go on, sorry.
What question do you have?
No, I'm just bummed. I like peaches.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
The USDA approved up to $9 million in aid for the removal of about 420,000 clingstone peach trees. The removal program is supposed to help farmers cut an estimated loss of $550 million and transition to other crops ahead of this year's harvest.
Do you like peaches?
I love peaches.
Yeah, I'm a fan. My daughter Evie likes them too, which is good. But I like just peaches. Like I'll eat just peach. But I know what you said was Del Monte, so they make the little peaches in the cup,
right?
With the
yeah,
liquid, which is good. I like those too. I can't deny that.
I was a big part of their business growing up.
Yeah, me too. That's true. Should have bought stock or something in Del Monte. All right. Well, another bummer one, but okay. What's number 2?
Number 2 is yet another food-related one, but McDonald's has joined the refresher game, doing 3 lemonade-based drinks of strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, blackberry passion fruit, and then a couple drinks with cold foam, which are Sprite.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sprite Berry Blast.
That has cold foam on it?
Yes.
At McDonald's?
Yes.
Does that mean I could get an iced coffee and ask for cold foam on that?
You probably could.
Oh. See, I'm like, forget the refreshers. I'm like, forget the refreshers. I want the cold foam. But
and there's also Orange Dream.
That's interesting. I mean, I know it's become really popular. Flavored sodas has become popular. Flavored drinks have become popular. But that's interesting. Of the cold foam, I'm more interested in the cold foam part for whatever reason. Because I do like, every now and then, I like a good McDonald's iced coffee. It's cheaper than other coffee places. It's got a lot of sugar in it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
if I could add cold foam to that, that might be good.
I like getting their caramel macchiatos.
Okay. I mean, they have some pretty decent options when it comes to like their coffees and stuff. They've done better. All right, there you go. Is number one a food item too? Or are they just all food items today?
It is not.
Oh, okay. What's number one today?
Number one, there is a viral trend going around where people are trying to get into the Church of Scientology buildings.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Of course
and
there is.
it has made its way into Vancouver, and a group of 300 people were outside of it.
Oh, my gosh.
And despite that, none of them got in. The front door was locked. But it's the first time that it's happened outside the United States. But what people are wanting to do is just go in and run through the building.
That's well, I know that's always the thing with Scientology too. I need to read more about it. I bought a book on it. I haven't read it yet, just because it's interesting. It's crazy what they do, but it's very difficult to be a part of that church because you have to be rich, is what my understanding is.
Oh, okay.
Like it costs a lot of money to like go through the process.
I didn't know you had to go through a process.
Oh yeah, there's a whole process where they like, and I forget what it's called. It's some crazy thing where they put you up to like a machine and they remove something. Like I don't think it actually does anything, but they like it's a whole process of removing something that makes you, I don't know, worse or something. It's almost like removing sin, I guess, but that's not what they call it. It's
odd.
It's really weird, but it's also, from what I understand, maybe I'm wrong, someone can tell me. It also, this is why it's a lot of times it's like Hollywood types that are involved, not only because of the location, but it's very expensive to go through the process.
They're saying this originated from an anonymous creator called Swiley, where he sprinted through Scientology's iconic main campus in Hollywood, where he was dodging staff and navigating stairwells, and just laughing the whole time. And even though he wasn't asked to, leave or never come back or anything like that, people took that as a challenge to do it even faster. And there was an incident where there was a group of 5 people that had masks on, used air horns, and even pushed some people to the ground, which is crazy.
Jeez. Okay. What is going on in there?
I guess people are trying to beat each other's record of how fast they can get through it.
The stuff that goes viral these days, by the way, it's just always some crazy thing like that. All right, Walker, I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be back with the Yaffee program rewind in a moment here on WVNN.
The Yaffee program.
News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM WVNN. We're back here on the Yaffee program. I am Alabama's voice of reason. This is Huntsville Smart Talk Radio. Glad you've joined the show. Don't forget to like the Yaffee Facebook page. Follow me next at Yaffee or Instagram at Yaffee Live as well. Still giving away free tickets to join me, Dale Jackson, and the crew Saturday night at Low Mill at the Independent Theater. All you have to do is text in the word hug, because apparently Dale Jackson started this trend where he said he was giving away VIP tickets and you would win a hug with Yaffee. And I know it was like kind of a joke, but apparently you all want hugs with me. You want a hug? I don't know why. I think it's kind of awkward. I would prefer you text in that you don't want a hug, and I give away tickets to people who don't want it, but that's not what's happening. But text in on the Yaffee text line 866-494-9866, and you win free VIP tickets to the show. All right, let's end the show like we usually do. We have the Yaffee program rewind. Yes, that time of the show, once again, where I remind you, if you missed any of it live, well, we make it easy for you to catch up, and you really should catch up. Listen all 2 hours. The podcast is available at WVNN.com, the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn Radio app, any of your, the WVNN app, anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, all of that stuff. It's there for you. Or I post a lot of them on Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. So check it out there. We started the show today talking about the latest in Iran, of course, where we're in Project Pause right now. Was Project Freedom, but then Trump announced a pause, so I'm calling it Project Pause. But apparently he says we're pretty close to a deal and that we hold all the cards. Pakistan's involved. I think China's probably involved as well. But go ahead if you can, Walker. Play a Trump cut for me.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal. I thought we'd be down maybe 20%, and we're up. The stock market's higher now than when we started this war. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that, among other things. As far as the Pope is concerned, and it's very simple. Whether I make him happy or I don't make him happy, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
All right, and then later on in the show, if you missed that segment, we give the details on that. The podcast is up, and I also played a couple of cuts from the CNN Abby Phillips show, where there was a little bit of a debate over this, and I thought it was kind of interesting. You had Adam Mockler, who's on the left, and Noah Rothman on the right. Go on and play the Adam Mockler cut for me, Walker.
Yeah, for my entire life, the United States has been at war with some country in the Middle East, and young people have constantly been told that this will make us safer and make us better off. When we look around at the world today, we are less safe and we are worse off. Millennials grew up watching all these headlines saying that Iraq had been, defeated, that we had taken out Saddam Hussein and we had killed all the bad guys. Well, that turned into a grinding counterinsurgency that cost us $1 trillion, and it was a catastrophe. The same thing happened with Afghanistan. And now Gen Zers are going through the same thing with Iran. We are watching the same people who defended these first 2 failed wars go on television and defend another failed war. This war is failing. We have not gotten any political concessions. And I'm sorry, I'm not buying this trust the process line. I don't trust the same people who got us into the prior wars, amassed trillions of dollars in debts, and are not putting America first on the global stage.
All right, the Noah Rothman responded to that, and I thought his response was right on. Play the Noah Rothman cut.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, honestly, Adam, that's immensely ungrateful to American service personnel and the people who keep us safe every day. After 9/11, it was by no means guaranteed that there would be no mass casualty terrorist attack on American soil in the immediate aftermath of that attack, especially since we had events in Madrid, in London, et cetera. And after the attack on Iraq and the elimination of Saddam Hussein's regime, we took a terrorist-supporting enterprise off the map. We don't talk about Iraq anymore as a threat to national security because it isn't. And those who would pretend as though Iran is not a national security threat and are just frankly dismissive of the extent to which American service personnel get up every day to stop these people from executing the attacks on American and their allies that they plan every single day. This is a thorn in our side. It absorbs a lot of American taxpayer dollars, to say nothing of the energy of our service personnel. And I just think it's just ungrateful to say that the service personnel are not keeping you safe when they are.
No.
So I tend to agree with that. So we had that earlier. The podcast of those segments are up. We also spoke with Christopher Reed, host of The Daily Controversy. He talked about redistricting. We have the special session going on right now in Alabama, and he is not happy because it looks like the legislature is going to draw a map that goes back to the map after the census where they had 1 leaning Democrat district and 6 Republican. Chris says, why are we not going all the way? It should be 7-0. And there are different arguments for that, but he thinks they're just being weak. So it's an interesting interview I had with Chris. If you missed it, the podcast of that segment is up, of course. Then we had the breaking news, not only a new poll out that does show, once again, Barry Moore in the lead in the U.S. Senate race, but Donald Trump posted on his Truth Social another endorsement of him. But, of course, he had to edit it because the first time he said Barry Moore is running for re-election to Congress. Now, we had a texter point out, technically, I guess that's right because the Senate is a part of Congress, but Trump changed it to say running for the U.S. Senate. But Jared, the interesting thing about the latest poll on that is Jared Hudson is in second place. Steve Marshall went down to third place. It's not good for him because momentum means a lot in politics. But there are still 40% undecided. So I guess it's still possible anyone can gain traction here. So we talked about that. The podcast is up. And then, yes, I talked about Spirit Airlines, how that died. And it really is just such a great example of how the technocrats in D.C. just don't know what they're doing. Why do we want these people in charge of everything? We want these people in charge of our healthcare system even more than they are now? Really? This is what you want? Back in 2023, Pete Buttigieg, give you an example, denied, the Biden administration did, but Pete Buttigieg, Department of Transportation Secretary at the time, talked about why they couldn't merge with JetBlue, Spirit Airlines. Go on and play the Pete Buttigieg cut.
Well, if we want competition, then we have to have fidelity to our watchdog role when it comes to mergers. After all, by definition, a merger means that there will be fewer competitors than there were before the merger. I could not concur with the description of this as a novel regulatory.
Yes, can I just ask a quick question? You're saying that we have 4 major carriers that represent 80% of the traffic, and adding another one would stop competition?
By definition, a merger doesn't add a company, it removes it.
By definition, a merger also gives the other 4 a competition that they don't have presently of 80%.
So our role is to make sure that there is more competition, not less, and we will only act to prevent a merger if there is a determination that a merger would harm competition.
Okay, so let me...
You can stop it right there. So now Spirit Airlines is dead. Is that great for competition? I mean, is really the answer there. So I appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate all the people going to join us Saturday, by the way, for the movie. Thanks to Walker for producing. Thanks to you for listening. Vince Show's coming up next, and we'll be back tomorrow at the same time. See you then.
It's the Yaffee Program on WVNN.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Listen, it is not too late to stop this. Do not do this. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's damn near perfect. It's beautiful as it is. Stop trying to fix what ain't broke. And stop telling me that the tournament isn't the tournament unless the 15th place team in the SEC gets in. Stop jerking with the best event in all of sports, you pigs.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.